Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tech Down Over. I'm joined today by world-famous secret agent, 00 Blanchard. Jeff Blanchard to you. How are you, Jeff?
Good, thank you, Rick. Well, there's a new movie going around at the moment called Grimsby, and that's got about two brothers. One becomes a secret agent, and one lives in the old hometown that he was born in, and that was Grimsby. And I was born in Grimsby, so I guess really? I'm that one.
So yes. you are truly 00 Blanchard.
Yes.
Well, maybe you're not 00 Blanchard. That didn't work. Hold on, let's try that again. And we are back. You know, every time we talk about double agents, something goes bad on the show, so I don't know what happened there. But anyway, Grimsby. Were you actually born in Grimsby?
Yes.
Is that outside of London or further north?
Yeah. Up north, so halfway in the middle of England on the east coast.
Interesting. Sounds actually pretty.
Well, it can be. There's some nice areas there, so. But it's also with the old fishing town, so it used to be the biggest fishing port in the world.
Really?
But now not one trawler goes out of there now because the markets, everything's changed these days. So it's a bit of a derelict type of town, really, these days.
There was that show that was on, I think it was PBS. It was Doctor Something or Other. It was a comedy. He's a doctor, but he couldn't stand blood anymore.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
It was really a funny show. I liked it.
Oh, it's got something to do with boots.
Doctor Something or Other.
I know. It'll remind me because there's this brand of boots after him. I think that everybody...
Martin? Was it Martin?
Martin, yes.
Something Martin, right?
Yeah.
Doc Martin? Was that it?
Doc Martin.
Doc Martin. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the Doc Martin boots, isn't it?
It was cute. It was actually a cute show, and I didn't watch all the way to the end. I don't know what happened, but the first I think there was on 2 seasons, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, about 5 seasons.
There were that many? I must have only watched 1 or 2 then, and then I got out of it. I thought it got canceled, or maybe they didn't show it at the same time here, and it just disappeared on me. Maybe I'll go back and watch it.
Also, a couple of good people have come out. Well, one person I know that's came out of that. I don't know if you saw another show called the IT Group.
I heard of it.
Well, the IT Group, the main star, the IT manager, she was his secretary.
Oh, her! I remember her. Yeah, she was good.
And she's she's the IT manager in the IT
Interesting.
Group.
She was hilarious. The secretary did nothing. I mean, nothing.
And in the IT group, she, the people tell her, says, you can't do that. Oh, look, you've broken the internet. And so she goes into the meeting as the IT manager and has to go into the board and they con her in. And she says, I'm sorry, but I've done it, but we've broken the internet.
She'd never break the internet.
She's trying to make herself look good. It's a really good show. You should watch that, the IT group.
The IT group. I've got to watch it. It's been on for a while, right?
Yeah, it has. It's been there ages. But if you've been in IT like you have, you can see a lot of things that do happen in the IT group. So, yep, I fix that, pull the plug out of the wall and leave it 5 minutes and plug it back in.
When I was in IT, I was sort of like the IT antichrist because I'd walk in and say, we're a service shop. We provide service. We are here to work for the clients. And they're like, no.
We're going to do something.
We must kill him. Yes.
No. Yes,
I walked into one IT shop, 5-year backlog, 5-year, and we got it done in 6 months. It wasn't that hard. It's just that there's good IT shops, there are bad ones, and a lot of them don't realize you're a service department. No, we're not. We control everything.
I don't know about you, but when I get something, I enjoy fixing things up and helping people. So that's what we do a lot, and I think that's why we get along because. A lot of people just like to brush things under the cloth, but you just have to get things done. Anyway, Rick, what's been happening with you this week?
Just a normal week. I've been doing a lot of testing. All the talk about full frame versus APS-C versus Micro Four Thirds and smaller ones like the little digital phone type ones. And so I went out, and I actually don't have the pictures today, but I started taking some pictures of the same things with the Nikon 750, the D750, and also with the Panasonic, the trusty Panasonic GH4 that you see right here.
Love that
One
camera.
of my favorites. With the 42, right now it's got the 42.5 millimeter Nocticron from Leica. It's a beautiful lens. This thing has an f1.2, and at night it just makes it daylight if you want it to. It's amazing. It's a heavy lens too. It's probably about a pound and a half. But it's gorgeous, and it's got. And I did this for you before, but I'm going to just show you the focus speed.
Yeah, very quick by the sound of it.
Pretty much. And it's dark in here, except for the lights on us, and it can focus instantly. It's like tick, 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 everywhere. It's just really, really clean. The Nikon, as the 750 is good, but it's like tick, tick. It's not tuck, 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 tuck.
That's right. It's just that little bit.
It's a lot slower. Compared to this, it's slow. And I also love the Panasonic GX8, which is, again, another, that's a 20, almost 21 megapixel camera, and it can shoot beautiful stills. And it's just a small camera. It's a little smaller than the GH4. I wish it had a battery grip, but no, it doesn't. That would have been wonderful with a battery grip. But it feels good in my hand. It's not bad. Even this, without the battery grip, is a nice. With the battery grip, it's almost perfection. I can't think of a more comfortable camera than this one with the battery grip. And even without, it's pretty comfortable. But the GH4 has just been a wonder. I am so looking forward for the GH5 when it comes out, which will be probably very, very soon. We can only hope. Now, oh, by the way, for all you guys in the chat room, which doesn't exist, but it will soon. We're going to be streaming live to YouTube very, very soon, maybe even as soon as next week. We had Corey Benoit on from Famous Media. We love Corey. Unfortunately, something happened because he didn't show up. He wasn't at his Skype at the ready. So he probably got stuck in traffic. He lives in New York or just on the outskirts. Traffic can be bad on a Friday. It can be really bad. And if he's doing a photo shoot, which took longer, we'll get him on next time. Corey's a good guy. Now, I was shooting the GH4, the GX8, even the little LX100 4K camera from Panasonic. They all have basically the same sensor. Then I was shooting with the D750 and a little bit with the D810. And you know, the D810 and 750 take beautiful pictures. But surprisingly, when you start putting things together with the same conditions, same shutter, same pretty much aperture, there are minor differences in aperture, minor in ISO, because they're just different lenses and sensors. You can get pretty much almost the same exact results. That's what really surprised me. That the Nikon looks beautiful, but you can still get beautiful or almost as good with one of these Micro Four Thirds. And again, I don't think it has to do with the sensor size as much, but sometimes having too many megapixels isn't good. You get definitely less low light usually, and it depends how the bigger pixels sometimes give you more dynamic range, or they'll give you more colors, but not necessarily. I took stuff. I think it comes down more than sensor to glass. If your glass is good, it almost doesn't matter what sensor you have, because you can take almost equivalent on any kind of platform. Zacharias, or Arias, who does a lot of professional photography and video work, he has a little video that he talks about full frame sensors or sensor sizes. It's hilarious. You've got to watch that one. Have you seen that one?
No.
I sent it to you the other day. I see CJ.
haven't watched it.
Oh, he hasn't watched it. Okay. That one is just hilarious because he starts imitating the people in the pundits out there going, it basically comes down to that. He goes, I can take beautiful pictures with this one. One of his favorite cameras is the Fuji, I think it's called the X300 or X100S. And he says, oh my God, this thing is, and it's an APS-C sensor. He goes, it's gorgeous. He loves that. He goes, in fact, he declared on one of his trips when he was in Turkey He goes, the DSLR is dead. I don't think it's dead, but it's definitely having a little bit of artificial resuscitation needs.
Now, Rick, with all with all your Panasonics, if you've done a test like filmed with all of because they're all 4K, done a filming with like the HXC 1000 and all the other ones, and see how they patch together, because that's usually very important with video.
HCX is probably the one that's the most off color-wise.
Oh, is
so
it?
It doesn't look quite as clean color-wise because it only has a 1/2-inch sensor. They really blew that. They didn't put in a. If they had only put in the GH4 sensor, it would have been great. But instead, they put a 1/2-inch one, so it's definitely not as clean. It looks good. I don't think it looks as good as the GH4 in some respects, or the. It's got a good lens on it. It's got that 24-400 lens, so it's nice. But I think the colors aren't quite. They're a little off from what the GH4 and the GX8 do.
Now, are they the GX4? Is that a 30 frames or 60 frames?
This can do. It doesn't do 60, but it does up to 96 in slow motion. You have to go to, but no audio capture. So everybody's hoping that the new GH5, when it comes out, has 60. I don't believe this one does 60. I've never really shot in 60. It does 30 and then 24.
Because that's about the main thing of the HCX 1000. That does the 60 frames. So.
Which is nice. So that it can do better than this. But I think colors are different. So you would have to either color correct so that they match a little bit better. They're not that off, but they're off. They're different. The GX8 and the GH4 in ultra high def look pretty similar. I don't really see too many differences. This one can shoot the true 4K 4096, but then you run. How many people really need to shoot that? And it's a different aspect ratio at the 4096 than it is at 3840. So when you're doing ultra high def, now you're shooting for TVs and PCs. You can see that really well. All the monitors on PCs are ultra high def. They're not 4096. I don't know if the Apple iMac monitors are 4096. They might be, but they're also 5K, so they're a little bigger. You could fit the 4096 and the ultra high def in that 5K monitor. So I guess they could do either one.
And we was talking the other week as well, Rick, I think offline, was about a new one, a Panasonic, was the HCWXF991K.
Yeah, it's a little one. And it looks great. It's about $1,000. It has, I believe, a 1-inch chip in it. So it's got probably similar to the GH4 kind of chip. And it looks nice. It looks like the video quality, it's not true 4K. It's ultra high def, but still, that's fine. 3840 is fine. That's still a lot of definition. The color looked incredible on it from what I've seen. I have not yet held it or seen it live. It's not. I think it's out this week, coming up.
And I was just having a look at it. It says it's sort of 4K Ultra HD, but it says 1080p, but also has this 24 frames, 60 frames on the 60 frames on the 1080p.
Nice, huh?
But, 24 to 30 frames on the 4K. But it does still have the electronic viewfinder, which I find really good.
It does, and a 3-inch is it 3 or more? I think it's 3 LCD panel, or it's I think it's an AMOLED panel.
But one of the great things it does that you can't do with anything else. What I was reading on that, it has Wi-Fi, which is nothing strange for most people. But what you can do, you can hook up to 3 iPhones to it and have a 3-way picture.
Interesting.
So you can have the normal lens, what it's filming, and bring in the two other phones.
Is that how they do picture-in-picture?
Well, no, that's the second one.
Because that's a second feature. Don't they have a second almost camera built into it?
And what the second one is it has a camera built into the not the LCD screen, and you can angle that to the side, so I can film straight and have somebody at the side if you want to have them on the picture insert. But that'd be sort of great if you just want to do little interviews and have you on the camera at the same time.
That's interesting. That's actually pretty cool.
For $1,000, I mean, what else it's really good go-to. And I don't know about you, but one of my favorite little camcorders is my little Panasonic.
And that was a great little camera. That's a 3 CCD chip.
Yeah, and I just thought it was just fantastic. So I love that. So I think I might end up getting one of the. I don't need it, but it just looks so good. It's got a 20 times zoom.
That's not bad. That's an optical zoom.
Yep, optical zoom, and it says 5-axis hybrid optical image stabilizer. So it's supposed to be, really, really good for that. And it said built-in twin camera, so that's what it has, that separate camera in there. So, and it says 4K photo mode, but I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's the 8. It can take pictures as you're filming, or other times it can take the 4K, just like your FZ1000. It has the 4K roll, the sequence, and you can just take stills out of that at 4K, which is pretty nice.
And it says the exclusive high dynamic range mode reduces the over high contrast look. So,
well, yeah, because that's what they're famous for. The camcorders are always rather sharp. They're very clear. So what they're doing with the dynamic range, they're allowing it to have better contrast control and correction. It should look beautiful. And your shadowing will be cleaner. I mean, for $1,000, you're really getting a great camera. You know, I got Clark for an early birthday gift the G7, the Panasonic G7.
That'd be nice.
That G7 for $500, it's $591 with the lens, and it's a 12 to 50 millimeter lens, I think. It's a damn good little camera. He took over 1,000 pictures with that, with one battery.
Yeah,
that's amazing, and the picture quality looks really good.
It wasn't all Anson, it wasn't all his son, was it?
No. It was. He was what, half of them, or about half? Yeah, he was in a lot of them, but. No, they went to Portland, Oregon, and they took pictures at the zoo, and the zoo shots are incredible. The animals in the distance, and they're zoomed in. They look really clean, like the cheetah and all that kind of stuff. It was amazing. It's a great little camera for the price. It's amazing what Panasonic is doing and how little everyone else is doing.
And also, this one does have a feature just to take pictures on it with a 25.9 megapixel still.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
So you, apart from getting the stills off your 4K video, but it does have the 25.9 megapixel still.
That's like an APS-C sensor. That's bigger than a micro. They have a bigger chip than the. Then that doesn't mean they have the GH4 chips, unless that's the new GH4 chip.
I'm just having a look, seeing what it's got, if it says what size.
That's
chip
right, everyone.
got.
You heard that here first. The new Panasonic GH5 will have a 25-point-something megapixel chip.
Well, rumors have got to start somewhere.
They got to start somewhere, and we just started one. So if you believe it, live with it. It's a dream. Make it happen.
But it's just amazing what they're coming out with in these different things. And I'm strongly getting towards the feeling that Panasonic is probably one of my favorites at the moment. So, and I was just thinking back, many years ago, when you seem to forget this, that Panasonic was probably one of the first that came out with a video camera for the normal people.
Yep.
Didn't they? The all-in-one VHS all-in-one camera.
Yeah, it weighed 62 pounds, and it was great. No, I'm just kidding. But it was heavy, but it was nice, and you could put it on your shoulder, and it was a really cool camera. I know people who had them, and you put the VHS tape. Wow, those are the good old days.
And I tell you what, though, if you could get one of those, the same size of those cameras, same build with modern technology, it'd be so great, because they did such good still quality.
I know.
Because they were so big, you could have a nice pan, it kept still because it sat on your shoulder.
Oh, sure.
But it's such a good shot.
Instead, you need a huge rig for these things just to keep it stable. I tried the Manfrotto rig that we have from the old days. It didn't work that well on this. It just wasn't that good. It's okay for panning, maybe going up and down, but if you're moving around, it's just not really. It's not truly a stabilizer, so it's okay, but it wasn't great.
Now, talking about stabilizers, I was just going to ask you before the show, because you don't seem to want to open the box yet. Ronin?
We have the Ronin M. It's sitting on our conference room table in all its glory, doing nothing.
Because what I want you to find out, I want you to see how it works with, your XA10s or 25s. Because
we haven't tried it yet.
I wouldn't mind buying one, but the GX4. I want to see, because they've just brought them down in price here, but it is one of the better ones to do
Oh,
that.
the GH4 has really gone down. It's like I've seen it like 1,300, 12. It's amazing how cheap they're going on it.
But I mean,
Still
here it's $2,000 here, but that's
2,000,
cheaper
okay.
from 2,500. That's
Yeah.
still come down 500.
And when I
But,
bought it, it was at 17.99.
yeah, so the really good price for them. But have you seen also the latest to the market to the product line of DJI, the Phantom 4?
No.
The drone. Well, you know, all the things we've liked about all the other ones have been quite nice, but
Yeah.
one of the big things they've always had that's been a problem is, yes, it does have the return to home, but if there's a tree in the way, it'll just smash straight into it. But the new Phantom 4, what's the main thing it has on the sensors on the front? So if you send it into a brick wall, it'll stop.
Really?
And if it gets out of range and you hit come home, and there's a tree in the way, it will go up, come over, then go back down to
Interesting.
where it is.
Okay, so it got a little bit smarter.
And also as well, you know what, you've got like the app where you're showing the person on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tap that and it will auto follow them without a sensor on the person.
Interesting. So that's
So
perfect for people who like to follow people. Yeah.
Well, what you can do is if you set it up yourself,
Yeah.
press the follow, put your thing down, and you just walk around, it will follow you around as well. But
That's funny.
because it's going forward,
Yeah.
if there's a tree in the way, it won't smash into a tree as long
That's
as
cool.
but if you're walking, but it's really good idea that, and they're coming down. They're about cheaper than the Phantom 3 Professional
Did
ones.
you hear what somebody else created? And this is true. They created an anti-drone device.
Oh,
So-
yes, to capture it.
Yeah, it captures it. It basically shoots in the air like a missile
Yeah,
and wraps it in a netting.
yeah,
And then a parachute opens up and it brings it down.
yeah.
And it's real. This is something somebody just created because I guess many drones have been invading private spaces and people are getting really tired of them. You know, every idiot and his mom has a drone now. It's like, "Hey, let's go shoot up there." And of course, people don't like it. I know they've shot some drones down when they were where they shouldn't be, and now they can capture them. That's interesting.
Now, do you know what the regulations are in America of how high you can fly your drone?
I read that once. It's not
I
that
think
high. It's under 2,000 feet or
Yeah, 400 feet.
400 feet. I knew
400
it wasn't that high. So
Reason why I mentioned it, because there's a fella in Holland who's got a video up on there. He's sort of broke the law slightly. He's taken it to 11,150 feet.
11,000. They can go that high.
Yes, he got a video, but it's so dangerous. Imagine and he brought it down. We started bringing it down when there was 24% battery left, and it just got down with 3% battery left.
Wow.
But if that fell out, that could have killed somebody because it's so stupid.
Well, not
to
only
do.
that, it could hit a commercial airliner.
Yes,
It could hit at 11,000 feet. You're in the descent of most commercial airliners. Not to mention a lot of private pilots are up there. You know, anything between 5 and 10,000. Actually, between 2,500 and about 40,000. You're in controlled airspace. And that is risky. Oh, here, if they had done that here, if they got caught, they would have been probably arrested.
I wouldn't be surprised if he has, because they took the video down, but there's the videos on some other channel. I've had a look a little bit of it, but I mean, it said it's incredible when it goes above the clouds. But I wouldn't have thought they would have managed that. I thought the turbulence would be too much.
How does he control it at that height? You can't get cell signals that far.
Well,
Maybe that
of
was
the
a
time,
scam. You sure that was real?
Yeah, and they were saying, but usually on these ones you can get about 3 kilometer distance, and that's about 3 or 4 kilometer distance on your signal, and that's about 3.5
Well,
kilometers.
11,000 is
isn't it?
about 2 miles. And 2 miles, I think that's, I don't know, maybe they can go that
and
far.
I think this later DJI one, it gets a 5 kilometer range.
Okay, which is
So
about
from-
2.5 miles, maybe.
Yeah,
2 miles,
so-
about 2 miles.
But I mean, this one is really becoming attractive to have with that follow me feature. And they've done a few more smarts. I think because, like everything, every time a drone loses control and goes mad, the manufacturers are always looked at. So they've done the right thing and got that avoidance thing. So people aren't smashing their drones into
that's
fences,
pretty good.
walls, and that. But the only problem is, I suppose that'll be for the next generation, is to have the same sensors in the back, because a lot of the things, if you're filming somebody from the front and you're going backwards, well, it can't. It's like, you can't see what's behind it, so it will still crash into the things. But as long as you're going forward, the auto collision has been taken care of. But
Pretty amazing.
it's still, I'm tossing up, shall I get that, or shall I spend the same amount of money and get the Ronin? I think I would get more use and then less trouble getting the Ronin.
Well, you already have the Osmo. Do you think you even need a Ronin?
Well, that's right. I just don't know. That's how, but I'll use the Osmo as a good thing. I've also just got I had a bicycle mount for the Osmo, and before I got to use it, I lost it all. I lost the handle grip and lost everything from it, and I had to buy it all again. So I've just put it on the bike, and because you can put that on there and it can do some good shots. So I'm going to take that out when it stops raining and see what that does on there as well. But the thing is with the Ronin, you can put your bigger camera on there, whereas the Osmo's great, but it's not. I can't sort of frame it up as good because I don't want to have my mobile phone switched on and hooked onto it when you've got it out, because you might lose it. So you just aim it into a direction and get. It's okay for general things, but you still need your normal camera if you want to do anything sort of involved, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I almost got one of the drones once, and I go, you know what, the chances of us using it a lot are slim. There's too many high power lines all around here. You make a mistake, you hit one of those, you ruin a camera, you ruin your Ronin, you get arrested. It's just not worth it.
That's what I'm thinking. I think I'll stick to the ground and let all the other people do that.
Well, they said it's what Sammy's does. For example, Sammy's camera in LA, they won't rent you one unless you get the operator with it. And that makes sense, because if you don't really know how to fly those things, they can be dangerous.
Yeah. And then if you only want to play with it and fly, well, that's not what we're here for. It's sort of a proper working tool.
Sure.
But if you just want to have that, well, you're going to wreck it anyway.
And also now in the U.S., did they pass the law? I think they did, that you have to register every drone or you can't fly it.
There was a good thing that I saw that I think would really solve a lot of the things with mobile apps and that. In one place, I don't know if I think it was in America that they're going to do this in a certain state, is you go onto your phone app and you type in where you are, where you want to go, and it goes to a central computer and it gives you a flight plan. So if you want to go up to a bit high, it will allow you to, because you're into the flight plan, so it knows where you are. And I thought, that sounds like a good idea. It doesn't cost you anything, but you just have to say, I'm going here. So if you want to film a little bit more, you can do it and just get a permission to go into a particular area. So that sounds like...
That could be interesting.
And it's good. I would rather that control than all these thousands of crazy people just doing it wherever they feel like it, just to get the shot. But at least you can say, well, I'm not doing anything untoward. I've registered a flight plan. And now with mobile communications, how good they are these days, it wouldn't be that hard to do.
No, that's interesting. But I think I prefer being earthbound.
Yes, I think I will still do that. So
at least for now. But there are new cameras coming out soon, and it's funny. The more I hear photographers talking, every time they pick up a Sony, it's like, I don't really like Sonys. I don't like their filter. I don't care. I love the Sony. It's just amazing. They do attract people because they are innovative, and I think that's really the key, that they're doing things nobody else is doing for a price that's not that bad considering. People complain about them, this, that, but you know what? They're all buying them.
Yeah, and it's like everything else. So people do say, oh, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. But they can't make. If they had a camera that did everything, that would be fine. That's $15,000.
Right.
And so it does everything, but we have different. No, it doesn't. Well, what do you want it for? Not everybody's a professional photographer, and not everybody wants to do sports, and not everybody wants to do landscaping. It depends what you want, and a lot of these, especially like that new what we said, the 6300 from Sony. Yeah, it's really great, but it says it has some shortcomings in certain areas. But that's what they've got the higher ones for. But like they said, that's probably one of the best general all-purpose ones. It does a great picture, it does great video, okay, sort of in, for sports and that. But as I said, some of the quality, and there's a few on there from the camera shop I saw on that, and Tony and Chelsea Northrop did videos on that. And like the Photoshop did their whole review film on that new 6300.
Okay.
And it was Jordan did the whole thing on that, and like he's very good. He comes up with some good footage, but also tells you the shortcomings. But you couldn't complain about the quality of that, and it's such a small thing. But that's
what's sort of interesting. A lot of chips, a large number of chips, sensors are made by Sony. Nikon uses Sony sensors. I don't know if Canon does. I don't think they do, or maybe they do on some cameras. By the way, Canon just released this T6, which is their Rebel T6 whatever.
Yes.
And Matt from Art of the Image called it the biggest piece of junk ever released, and you just go, wow. Little, again, no 4K. They have no 4K in any camera other than I think the closest one was a JX. And nothing has, or JC, what's it called? The JC 30 or something. I forgot what number it was. Nothing has 4K. You got to go up into the high stratosphere for them, and they're very expensive at 4K. So they're not in that market. They don't care about that market.
And the one thing I've been listening to each week now, I don't know if you do, is Sharky James in the Petapixel podcast.
No,
it's
I
about
haven't
a
seen. I don't think
20-minute
I've
one
seen
each week. And
Okay.
It's very good. And he was talking about the new entry level. And they said, why bother? They've done nothing to it. It's like all the others. They said they'll probably increase a megapixel by about a little bit. But it's people at that range want something fantastic, or else what's the point of need to change it?
Yeah,
but
you're paying $500 or more for a DSLR with not good video at 1080p, not a great sensor. They said the parts are really old, nothing new, not high ISO, not much of anything. When you can buy a $500 Panasonic
and that's
G7
great.
that has 4K video, beautiful pictures. Why would you want to buy a Canon?
Yeah,
Or even for that matter, a Nikon nowadays.
But it's like that. Sometimes some people will just want to have that normal camera type look, the big chunky body.
I know.
And that's what sells them on that. But as I said, like the Canon and the Nikon, like even the D750 is a great camera. But I mean, they've had another recall on them as well, haven't they? For all of them up to June 2015 manufactured. But but they weren't big ones, but they had some sort of light bleeding issue, I think, on them.
Yeah, I haven't had that. I heard about that one, but mine's been fine.
Yeah, but as I said, but even then, being fair to that, it's like some of the other recalls that they have on other things. Yes, it might be a problem, but a lot of people said they've tried it, and in 10,000 shots and trying to get it, they couldn't replicate it.
Yep.
But it's like if it does it on one thing, and if you're doing a professional wedding, it can be a problem. But some people, the effect it gives you, some people want to get that effect. It's a bit like a lens flare.
Right.
For years, everybody tried to do things, got rid of it. Now you have to buy a proper plug-in to make it do it.
I know.
So now it's really good to have a lens flare, isn't it?
That's true.
It's just incredible how different things have changed anyway. So.
Yeah, well, Jeff, we are actually at the end of our time. We've been going for about 50 minutes.
Oh, dear.
No Corey showed up today, so he must have really gotten stuck. We'll get a hold of him. We'll figure out what happened. Next week, we have Stephen Haywood from the Tech Buzz.
Oh, cool.
It'll be fun to have him back on. We haven't had him on in years. It's been a while. And see what he's been up to. He's mainly into the streaming world, and he loves that stuff. So let's see what he's looking at. I think the week after that we have... Well, actually, no. Next week we have two shows.
Yes,
we have
Friday and the Monday.
I think we have a Friday show with Stephen Haywood, and Monday we've got the Camera Store guys, Chris and Jordan. I'm looking forward to seeing them. Unfortunately, Jeff can't make that one. Bummer.
And then
take a day off. You look kind of sick, Jeff. I don't know if you should go to work on Monday. You look kind of peaked.
Yes, now you put it on YouTube that I'm going to be sick on Monday. So I bet if I am, I'm going to be really in trouble on that front. But it doesn't matter. On the Monday, I won't be sick because I will be home on holiday because it's Easter Monday here and we get a public holiday. But
it's
the time
Tuesday.
Difference, your Monday is my Tuesday.
That's right.
So I'll be at work on the Tuesday. That's why I can't make it. So.
Bummer. Okay. Anyway, I'll tell him you said hello. It's
Oh yes, because I'll just love every. One of my favorite ones is watching the camera store reviews, because it's
good.
not only just they just do it very well. It's not just about the product. They just make it very entertaining and just do great videos.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really good, and I guess owning a camera store, they get to see it all. So it should be good. One of these days, I want to go to Calgary and visit just to see what it's. I've never been to Calgary. It looks pretty.
But yes, it does, because you see them in a local.
Oh, doesn't it look nice? Yeah.
Picnic area, and you think, oh, gee, that looks so beautiful. But I suppose it's like I have here.
Yep.
You go to some really, you think it's just an ordinary pat to take a picture, but when you really stand back and look about it, gee, it is. We do have some nice places in our own areas which we don't appreciate. I just had some relatives come from England the other week, and there was a couple of things I did in my hometown I never realised. Like, I went on a 5-hour bike tour and thought, that's fantastic. I better get my bike out and take me cameras with me on the bike and do that, because there's just so many areas you just don't see. You think, oh, that's not worth it. And you think, well, you go travel all over the world to take pictures on that, and there's these great things in your own backyard. Anyway, that's my thing for next week. Take the camera out and try and get some more filming done.
Yep, that's true, because, you've only got today.
That's right.
Well, anyway, for all you people watching on YouTube, please subscribe. We are going to be moving the show partially to Vimeo. So the show will be on Vimeo, and it will be live on YouTube. And I believe they keep a copy afterwards as a show. So you can show it just like a regular show. But that'll have more, the live one will be a little bit different, because it'll have probably a pre-show, maybe even a post-show, and then we'll be done. But we're going to go back to Vimeo. We always got better views on Vimeo. It just, for some odd reason, with YouTube, the views just, we don't know what we're really doing, because they don't give you great analytics. And on Vimeo, we have just better control over the show. So I think we're going to go back to that, and YouTube will be our streaming, which will be fun. All right, Jeff. Well, hey, you have a great long weekend. You got 3 days off, so that's good.
Not this weekend. That's next weekend.
Oh, next weekend. Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. So not this weekend. Next weekend is when you're having your day off?
Yeah, the Friday and the Monday.
Well, the camera store guys are on this Monday.
No, it's not. It's on the 28th.
The camera store guys?
Yep, that's next Monday, the following Monday. According to the invite, I'm sure
It's this week? Is it tomorrow? Isn't it this Monday?
No.
I think it's this Monday. We'll have to check.
I thought it was the 28th, I thought it was. So.
Oh, I thought it was like literally this Monday coming up. So we'll check.
But even then, I'll still be at work on Tuesday.
That's true. That's true. But you may be sick. I mean, no, you didn't hear that from me.
I can't be now. So.
Well, have a good one. And Jeff, thanks a lot. We'll see everyone next week. Take care.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye for now.